Hi, everybody. I want to talk about a movie that probably one of the best movies of a horror movie from the 90s that you never heard of, and it's called Body Parts, directed by Eric Red. Eric Red actually went to AFI Conservatory for film school. He did a lot of short films that really got celebrated, and after that, he did some screenplays that you probably have films that you recognize, like Near Dark, The Hitcher, and Blue Steel. In 1989, he directed his first movie and wrote it. It's called Coheed and Tate. It stars Adam Baldwin and Roy Schneider. It's kind of a buddy cop movie.
An interesting collaboration.
Yeah, it's a buddy cop movie kind of a thing. With Eric Red's kind of stories, you understand there's a prevalent evil that's kind of a loose organization or single, but they're out there. They're not really hiding in secret, but they're out there, and they entangle in people's lives. Kind of like the Hitcher, he's out there, but if you don't mess with him, your life is good, but you involve with him, problem.
Much like this, legends,
yeah, and it's prevalent in a lot of his stories. This one is very similar. You have one of them. I love it. You have Jeff Fahey. My guys, watch The Sketch Artist. He's really good in that movie too.
I had a friend who was upset that Jeff Fahey was in Grindhouse because they said he shouldn't be doing horror films, and I'm like, he's been doing horror films his whole life.
Yeah, he's also, you recognize him. He's in Lost also. It also stars Brad Dourif playing one of my favorite roles in the movie. He plays this artist, and also Kim Delaney is in this, and then you have Lindsay Duncan. She plays Dr. Webb, the evil Dr. Webb in this movie. This is produced by Frank Muscarado Jr., who did a lot of the. Am I saying it right? Because you know Friday the 13th.
Mancuso's dad started with the Friday the 13th, and then Jr. kind of got in there in the middle section and did a lot of the sequels.
Yeah, and he knew like you have to constantly amp it up. It up.
Interviews. He's really strong about his thoughts on that franchise. It's a love letter for him.
Yeah, and he also produced horror movies like Species, but also did like John Frankenheimer's Ronin. Here with Body Parts, you understand you're getting a quick, kind of tacky, distasteful movie. And it kind of critiqued that way. You get to it's a slow build-up. It's a lot of kind of underlining parts to maybe it's a psychological thriller. It is not. It is a slasher, hide-em, grind-em kind of house kind of a film. And it doesn't get to that point probably till, I would say the marker is Brad Dourif. Once Brad Dourif's in the movie, it goes to pieces. But that's the fun of that. I enjoy this movie.
That's when the movie gets to be the movie it's supposed to be.
Right. And I think people were looking for a psychological thriller. Jeff Fahey's character gets in a car accident, loses an arm, and then gets another person's arm. And you're supposed to get the psychological components of it. That's just a vessel to get you what you wanted to see is a maniac coming at you. This is why I recommend the movie, because it's sold as something that it's not in reality what it is, and it got criticized for what it generally is. I love kind of that it gets amplified at the end. You got a car chase movie, and of course you have one of the best car accidents shot ever on film. It goes right through the window.
That was messed up.
It's one of those like you don't forget that car accident scene. It's one of the best ones ever, and it's a quick cut. You don't see very much, but you feel it, and then you see with his arms cut off, and you see like tissue and scissors and everything. So that's kind of like you see a little bit of the horror, but then once Brad Dourif comes in, then it's almost like it's all out the window, like, literally out the window. If you haven't seen it, I think it's streaming on places. If I get it right,
I rented it on Google, pretty cheap, worth it. It's also on the Criterion Channel.
Yeah. Very kind of the taste of late 80s. We're still kind of mixture, especially for 1991. I would say we get into our own mixture of like flavors from 1990 horror movies, kind of like 92, 93, where they almost get to like the romanticism part of it, or investigating, kind of like you get Silence of the Lambs, you get like Bram Stoker's Dracula in like 1992. Here is kind of like the last drift tail end of your late 80s horror movies, and I'm strongly recommend it. It's hard to find, and it'd be cool at parties knowing this movie where pretty much a lot of people don't.
Yeah, I confused it with Body Bags when you mentioned it, because that has a part with Mark Hamill getting someone else's eyes, who's a serial killer. My question for you
here we go
this week, Nick, is if you had to get the body part of a serial killer, which one would it be?
Oh, I don't know. Would they have good livers? Because I need a liver.
Okay. As long as it's not an alcoholic serial killer, you're...
But overall, before I go, I love it's wonderfully shot. It's edited. I do like the right pacing for it. it is great for what it is, a distasteful, tacky slasher horror movie.
It would make a really good double feature with Bad Moon, also directed by Eric Red. I like both of them.
Yes. So thanks for watching, and I highly recommend go see it because Jeff Fahey's eyes, man. You got to see his eyes. At least he kept his eyes.
He's gorgeous.
Yes.